Hello, I ordered some computer RAM from Newegg. This is Corsair Vengeance LP DDR3 memory. It's 32 gigabytes divided by 4, so that's the most RAM my computer can hold. Hopefully it should fit in the spot. It's low profile memory, so it should. So that's what it looks like on the packet. It should be compatible with my motherboard. This is what the actual memory stick looks like. It's got a heatsink on it, so it'd run nice and cool. Heatsink on both sides. It's 4 times 8 gigabyte, and it's 1.5 volt at 1.6 gigahertz. So that's the speed my motherboard runs at. So now we're going to turn the computer off and install it. Okay, so the memory is going in directly near that fan to the right, where those little 2 white clips are up the top. That's where the memory starts, and it finishes where those 2 white clips are. You can see down the bottom of the screen near the red cable. So there's actually 4 slots there, 2 white clips, 2 black clips. I may have to take out the hard drive bay just to give me a bit of extra room, so I'll see how I go doing that. Right, so the hard drives are removed, so that gives me a bit of space to work with the RAM. So I've got to remove these 4 RAM chips and put in the new ones. So it looks a bit fiddly, but I'll get around to it. Okay, so this is the memory. Comes in a plastic There they are. So this is the new memory compared to the old memory. And as you can see, the old memory, Dell mixed and matched them. I think they used 2 gigabyte, the blue ones are 2 gigabyte sticks and the green ones are Samsung, and they're 4 gigabyte. So they've used cheap RAM and mixed it with the Samsung memory. And one of the other reasons why I'm replacing it is it gives me 32 gigabytes, which is the maximum, and hopefully it runs at 1.6 gigahertz, because this RAM only runs at 800 megahertz. So they're the empty RAM slots in there. So I'm going to have to jigger around and try and get them in. Okay, I've got one of them in so far, the other one's just sitting there. Just to show you the little tab there, what you have to do is to slide them in. You've got to line them up in the slot and then push them down so the tabs lock into place. So that's locked in. So it's a tight fit, but there's a gap between them, so they're going to fit okay. I'll put the other 2 in now. Okay, so I've installed the memory. Now I need to get into the BIOS and see if it's installed. So where does it say memory information? There it says 32 gigabytes at 133 megabytes DDR3 memory. So it worked. Okay, so one thing I had to do with my memory was change the frequency from 1.3 gigahertz up to 1.6 gigahertz as it was advertised. You notice here DRAM frequency was previously 600 megahertz. You double the DRAM frequency to get the clock speed because it's double data rate RAM. So what I had to do was run a program called Intel Extreme Tuning Utility. It had the default program enabled, which was running at 1.3 gigahertz. And all I had to do was change the profile to the XMP 1.6 gigahertz and enable that. I couldn't do it in the BIOS because my BIOS is very basic and doesn't allow this sort of stuff, so I had to click this, click apply, reboot the computer, and after I rebooted the computer, the frequency went up to 800 megahertz, which is listed in this column here for this particular RAM, XMP 1.3. It's okay to overclock it a little bit as they've already got heat sinks on the RAM, so that's what I had to do to bring the frequency up to the proper frequency that it can handle. Okay, so the RAM's installed and I opened up control panel, or the properties in the computer, and it says here that it has 32 gigabytes of RAM. So now I can turn off the page file and just run off the RAM, and this will be the last upgrade for this computer, the Dell XPS 8700. And yeah, I've made it into quite a gaming machine, and it's got a lot of space and a lot of power now, so it's basically not a Dell anymore. Yeah, so that concludes my upgrading project of my Dell XPS 8700.